Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are tackling a subject that, let's be honest, a lot of us have some strong feelings about: corporate training. We're going to break down how to take it from just, a box checking exercise and turn it into something that actually creates real, meaningful impact. Okay, let's just get right into it. Have you ever sat through one of those mandatory seminars thinking about all the actual work you could be doing? If you're nodding along, you are definitely not alone. And you know what? There's a very good reason so many training programs feel so disconnected and kind of useless. And it's not just a feeling, right? When training is totally out of sync with what teams and people actually need to do their jobs well, it's not just wasting an afternoon. It can cause real, measurable damage inside a company.
And the fallout from that misalignment, it's pretty serious. Irrelevant training just makes people check out. They disengage. And when they can't see the point, their motivation just tanks. A team that isn't learning anything useful isn't going to be the team coming up with the next big idea. It becomes this quiet drag on the entire company's potential. So, to fix this whole mess, we have to start at the beginning. We need to get our definitions straight. We've got to understand these two core building blocks that people throw around all the time as if they're the same thing, but they're not. I'm talking about training versus development. So let's start with training. Think of training as being all about the here and now. It's about giving an employee the specific skills they need to be better at the job they have today. It's like sharpening the tools they're already using every single day. Development, though, that's a whole different game. Development is about the future. It's a long-term investment in an employee's potential, getting them ready for where their career is going, and frankly, where the company needs them to go next. So it's not just about sharpening tools, it's about building a whole new toolbox. And right here, you can see it laid out clear as day. Training is for the job you have. Development is for the career you want. Training is super specific. Development is broad. One is for an immediate fix. The other is for long-term potential. An organization absolutely needs both, but it is so critical not to mistake one for the other. So how do we actually build programs that get this balance right? Well, like any good construction project, it starts with a solid blueprint. You gotta have a plan before you lay a single brick. This right here, this is everything. This is the single most critical step, and you guessed it, it's also the one that gets skipped the most. A needs assessment is really just about figuring out the gap between where your team's skills are right now and where the organization needs them to be. And it's a pretty straightforward 3-step process. First, you just talk to your people. Ask them, what do they feel they need? Second, you look at the cold, hard data. Where are the performance gaps showing up? And third, you connect all of that directly to the company's big picture strategy. Okay, so once you've got that blueprint from your needs assessment, then it's time to actually design the thing. And this is all about choosing the right tools and materials to get the learning across in the best way possible. Now, this is so important because there is no magic bullet here. No one-size-fits-all solution. If you need to teach a practical, hands-on skill, an interactive workshop is going to be your best bet. If it's just about transferring some knowledge, e-learning modules are great because they're so flexible. But for that real, deep, long-term career growth, nothing, and I mean nothing, beats a great mentorship program. The method has to match the mission. All right, so that's the theory, but what does this look like in the real world? Let's take a look at a few companies that are kind of legendary for getting this stuff right. So you've got Google. Their secret sauce is their data-driven approach. They are constantly running needs assessments to find out where the skill gaps are, and then they offer this huge menu of customized training options to fill those specific gaps. They don't guess, they measure. Then you have Zappos, which shows us a totally different angle. For them, development isn't just about job skills. It's about embedding their famous company culture. Every single program is designed to make employees better at their jobs, sure, but more importantly, to make them better ambassadors of the Zappos way. For them, culture is the strategy. And look at a company like IBM. They represent the reality for so many of us today. In a tech world that changes in the blink of an eye, their focus is on a culture of continuous learning. They give their people this massive library of resources that's always being updated. Because when the world is always shifting, the most important skill you can have is the ability to learn. So after we've looked at the problems, the definitions, the blueprint, and these amazing real-world examples, what's it all about? What's the big takeaway here? What is the true purpose of all this?
Well, if there's one thing you remember, make it this. Great training is not a one-off event. It's a core business strategy. It always starts with deeply understanding what people actually need, not just assuming you know. And when you get that alignment right, you're not just teaching skills. You are actively building a more engaged, more motivated, and way more innovative team. And that's really the question I want to leave you with. Take a hard look at the training happening in your world. Is it a strategic tool that's actually building capacity for the future? Or is it just about checking a box? Because that answer, that makes all the difference.